Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a journal with me process. I'm going to be continuing with documenting our wedding anniversary where we went away for a long weekend. I've already documented two parts of it. In Journal with Me episode 28, I documented the morning that we went to Kearney Gardens and saw some beautiful sunflowers, and in episode 31 I documented what we got up to in the afternoon of that same day. If you haven't seen those videos, I will link them below for you in the description box. I've been putting off documenting the start of our trip as I have a lot of items I'd like to include in my journal. So the ephemera I have today is a bunch of photos, some packaging, some pieces from our hotel, which includes a receipt, and some paperwork from our stay, and a map of the hotel grounds. So to make sure I leave myself enough space to add everything, I'm just playing around with all the pieces. So all of the photos and all of the ephemera, and figuring out what the layouts might look like, just to give me an indication of whether I might need another page or two. I do end up working across 3 full spreads. It was pretty overwhelming working with this many items, especially as not all of them are small pieces. I think that's why I left the beginning of this trip to last and documented the middle and end of the trip first. Now I've figured out how many pages I need and what the pages may look like, I'm going back to the first double page spread and adding in some journaling spots. So I'm playing around with a few of my vintage linen printables, and I also have this piece of scrap paper I found that I thought might work well as a journaling spot. So that vintage linen that is on the left hand page, that is from pack 2, and the one that you saw a little bit earlier that had a purple thistle on it, that one was also from pack 2, but neither of those make it into the final spread. I do actually end up using this purple flower doily, and this one is from pack 1. And now I've worked out the layout of the page, I'm just going to go in with my glue stick and stick down those journaling spots. I have this piece of packaging that I'd like to add on this page. It came from a box of brownies that we bought from a market in Stroud, and it's where we had our lunch. So I just trimmed it down so it was a bit neater. I'm adding some washi tape down the side of this packaging because I'm going to tip it into my journal and use it as a flip out. I'm going to add some journaling on the back of that a little bit later. The washi tape I'm using is this Blue Floor MT washi tape. And I'm going to be using double-sided tape for all of my photos. This photo here is of Stroud, and we just did a little bit of shopping whilst we were here, and we also had some lunch. And this photo is of Tetbury, and again we just walked around and explored the area, and we also had a look in a few of the charity shops there. So moving on to the next page, we left Tetbury and made our way to the hotel, so I just have a couple of bits and pieces I'd like to add on this page. So I have a letter that details all of our dinner reservations, and I also have this other piece which I think held our room card key. So I just trimmed that letter down a little bit, and I'm using a glue stick here to attach it to the page. And in hindsight, I probably should have used double-sided tape or some sort of stronger glue because it was actually really thick card, but that's fine. It all works out in the end. And for this piece I did use double-sided tape because it is really thick. And then for this other piece of hotel ephemera, I'm just folding it in half and I'll place that in the music page pocket. This photo is where we stayed, it's Calcott Manor, and I was just deciding whether I wanted it at the top of the page or at the bottom, and I couldn't decide, so I do come back to that page a little bit later. Moving on to the next page, I have this packaging and a photo. So this packaging is from a Lamy fountain pen. My husband bought it for me as an anniversary gift, and I think it was the Lamy All-Star medium nib in purple. So I'm just trimming down the packaging a bit to make it fit on the page, and just having a play around with the page and seeing how I want it to look. So I know I want to add some sort of journaling spot at the top of the page, and I wasn't too keen on how they looked overlapping that packaging, so I just trim it down a little bit more. I'm just using double-sided tape on the back of that packaging, and I also add the photo in of my husband. We did take some champagne with us, so we did do a little toast. Moving on to this smaller page, I'm going to be using one of my vintage linen printables to create a pocket. So I just used double-sided tape on 3 of the sides, and this printable is from pack 3 and it's available in my Etsy shop. I wanted to cover up this white space at the top of the page, so I'm using this extra wide washi tape, which is one of the William Morris ones by MT. And the photos that are going in the pocket are just pictures of our dinner. And then on the opposite side I wanted to add the receipt, but again I wanted to cover up all that white space, so I'm just playing around with some journaling cards just so that I've got somewhere to do some writing. I decided to go with the green one because I loved how it looked, and I'm going to be adding the receipt on top of that so it hides my journaling a little bit. So to attach the receipt, I'm just going to staple it to the top of the page, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to do that. And then moving on to the last page I'm going to be documenting on today, I have these 2 A4 pieces of paper, and I knew I didn't want to trim the map down, so in the end I decided to trim the letter down because I really didn't need all of that information. I decided to fold the map into thirds, and I'm going to add it into my journal with a paper clip, and that way I can just pull it out and look at it whenever I want to. I did originally add the clip at the top, but then I figured that the map would move around too much, so then I attach it on the side. And I decided to add another paper clip here to make sure this stays closed. And I'm still deciding on this photo. I was in 2 minds whether to attach it at the top or the bottom of the page. And in the end I decided to staple it at the bottom of the page. And you can see here I'm still playing around with the journaling spots. I just couldn't make a decision as to which one I liked the most. And now I'm going in with some MT washi tape to create a border around this photo, and this is the same washi tape that I've used throughout the other two spreads that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I wanted to make sure that all the pages tied together, and by using that same washi tape, I think it does that very well. And I decided to add a staple to the top of this packaging just for a little bit of extra decoration and to make sure it won't ever come up. And now you can see I've done my journaling off camera, so I've written in all of the spaces I left myself to do some writing. I've written on the back of packaging, on the vintage linen printables, and on journaling cards. And now I'm just going in with some final touches, so I'm just going in with some extra stickers. And all of the stickers I use are by Maggie Holmes or Crepe Paper. And I completely forgot to write about the fountain pen I received, so I'm just squashing that in at the bottom of this journaling card. So I'm just moving around all the different pages and adding in stickers where I think needs a little bit of decoration. And I did use some stickers from some of these sticker books. I knew I wanted some sort of box sticker to do some writing because I wanted to add which photo was which, because I'm sure in years to come I'll completely forget which one is Stroud and which one is Tetbury. And I don't use my sticker books enough, so it was nice to pull them out and use a few stickers from there. And this page just needed a little bit of extra decoration. And I decided that as I'd used a glue stick on this letter, it needed a bit more reinforcement, so I just add some washi tape on these pages. And then this piece here is by Tim Holtz, and I thought it fitted perfectly because in that pocket at the top of the page is all the pieces I found in the charity shops. And again, I'm just using my Tim Holtz tiny attacher to add that onto the page. And I felt like there was a bit of empty space at the top of this page that I just wanted to fill in, so I just go in with some more stickers and just fill that space, and I think that looks really nice. And these are the finished pages. I really like how these pages turned out, and I'm so happy I have finally finished documenting our trip away, which was to celebrate our 5th wedding anniversary. It was honestly such a lovely couple of days away, especially with what was going on in the world at the time. I really hope you enjoyed watching my journal process and how the pages came together, and I hope it gave you some inspiration and ideas for your own journal. If you are interested in any of the vintage linens that I used on these pages, then I will leave my shop link below for you. I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.